The pressure is getting. The pressure is getting. Flag bearers. No one so very so I know you campaign.
Why not just so very?
Is you to you know that Adia Gian Zoom says circle for.
But to be one circle for but to Hunisa.
Oh, dear.
Hunisa.
You are a Angola Yazwani, Penibu and Azwani. Wow, Green very so still. On the
Debbie. Okay, no one yes will be dinking.
You will go for any two for class or down to say, I will come well, no Bayakas.
Well, how many Payakada? How many Payakada?
Oh, as I go, you would have
no Bayakas is here.
Countless examples are. Actually, say, I'm on foot to me, mamma, fake fans to say, wow, show would you know, mirror now show one. Well, to move idea owns or owns a president.
Ah. Mayor on the survey president.
We will go to Mugase and my chow party with the Indian family.
The master, me, the way I see your MPP, and Yadia may be the idea MPP. They're charging me treason because of MPP. They will never do anything to destroy MPP. Now, from 1992, about Pim when was say body and soul or didn't sika na who den nim dear abua MPP party a Canadian Japan. Na me kure ni wia na mako akose no ana. Ye party ti misramo obi obeba bia wantini anka adwuma ho asem na obeka Canadian Japan onye presidential material onye say no, let me tell you. We need bold men. Ehia kukudrofo NDC for etutura semono wan nya obi anani edin na wantimi anko face NDC for ye besa opposition. The mesra munya kukudrofo until say ye be kind the last constituency. Semini ye presidential candidate. I will never accept defeat. I will never accept defeat until the electoral commissioner comes out to declare. I will not make so. I will never accept defeat. Ekuna ye kono ehia bema a wo mu beta yechi enye sa wo de ye boy ya na mu dimirika ni mo adwane no makosi segu no and yes I'm here election in Africa to vote for a bold man ebiem last one me got transi obi ba was say
ye to abay wie ye research ewie ye nim se aban ene ye party ye mfomso ye mfomso bebre ewo ye governance no mo niema wo ho a afi se ye beye yanye ye mebi tu wo ho a ye a anka ye hu from the background so a ye enti megina ha ye nyina ha ye ka ho bi vice president ministers MPs board chairman appointees ye nyina ya ye from so pacho momfanche yen why momfanche ye nyina ye ya from so momfanche yen na yesua ye lessons nyame adom ena mo de franka na hyemensa me be ye president ambassadorium ye belle ni ye lessons momfanche yen ambassadorium
me ka se nka ye ma obi a wasum party no da me de me feel say omo esum party na omo odobi ma party no omo risk especially from 1992 omo de ho abafore into ono no nye sika no na besesa no And a presidential elections, nipa ne dɔɔso a sika no san na ade bɛma no ɛbɛsesa ne hyɛbrɛ wama no ane 200 300 400 500 ɛno ɛnsesɛ nipa hyɛbrɛ wɔbi tam 50,000 ma wana ɛndeɛ ɛbɛtumi aconfuse nti na meka sɛ super delegates no yɛnyi mfiri hɔ meda party ase sɛ ɔmo team ase wei no na mefeel sɛ sɛ nkɛma all the former polling station executives adeɛ so ɛha party no sɛ polling stations no me agina secretary me the book bi by say me pese ye hwe party no article 3 na talks about membership ese tem bia na ye review membership na afi so mu ye meetings party no ye nya meetings ye twa elections beba na ye beto aba na nipa bi di America we a polling station executive no adwuma ne se obeto aba o wa adwuma ne se una be lead the party's advocacy e wo ba bia o no nti se nkola enyini ye be register on posters one MPP ni one MPP ni one na obetimi convince eye mu adwuma na ekoba ne se party no any source adwuma no nti ye se ye to aba mo amoye se adwuma mo na mbeto ene ye frem delegates afede o mo refi o mo adwuma na de o mani so no ene o mo frem o delegates ma na say interview akola because o nyina obey MPP delegate. There is no such position as delegate in the party's constitution anyhow. So, na koba no sa anya presidential no kra ya na hu ho parliamentary no. Say parliamentary no a restricted area. Be a nipa 1,500. Enti obi timi so was wato TV 1,000. Na wache. The next day will be at of fridge 1,000. No wakoche. Also Kumasi ane Ghana nyina yet communal houses. Me MPP ni, usu MPP ni just that way a polling station executive. Ukoba now the TV aba. Ukoba wo de ntoma bre oye. Ukoba wo de fridge aba. Na me yesu ko hwe wo yiri nkwan mu a enam na edi afurusa ne ehruhu mu. Obehwem say na kwabran wo party no uka ho. Edru se wo koto aba. Afi osi ye nyina nkoye adwuma na ohwe onim din. Eno no 2 million na anto aba amaye no. E ka ho kese pa.
Citizens have to be told what to do. We have to put a stop. And so we have to put a stop to the situation. Galamsey, halt it for 90 days. Stop it. Everybody should stop mining in this country. Regardless of the financial consequences, we have to agree that for the next 90 days, I'm not talking about even a state of emergency, 90 days, rainy season, let's clear our water bodies, let's engage how we go back to mining. If tomorrow I want to put up polls that put myself ahead of others, I'm sure that I can have some friendly posters do same for me. They do not concern me. Most of these polls are psychological operations on the system, totally meaningless. I don't intend to sponsor polls in my favor. I'm sure that you shouldn't be in any doubt that if I wanted to, I could.
Very unique, have the integrity, he includes everybody around, he has a vision, he has done it before, and he can do it in the future.
The man is humble. When you talk, it is for grassroots.
Today is a great day for our nation Ghana, that the son of a cocoa farmer can also go and file forms to become the flag bearer of the new patriotic party. When you, the delegates, elect me January 31st and Ghanaian people accept me December 7, 2028, we're going to form a government that will forever put to rest this major question of poverty engulfing us. Testimony is there for you to see. I only do evidence-based communication. What I have done is there for every one of you to see. Now, if the minister, who did a great job for this party, did a great job for this nation, stand in front of you and want to be a flag bearer, he is a flag bearer who is a can-do flag bearer. I've shown you what I'm capable of doing. If I can transform schools, if I can bring STEM education, if I can bring fever, if you hand me this nation, I will change the course of history of this nation. Once and for all, Ghana will be a great nation.
The pressure is getting. The pressure is getting.
When I prophesy, what I'm about to prophesy, some of the men of God I submitted, they don't like it. But you see, I would rather obey God than to obey men. Me, I will offend you than to offend God. Now, I had a vision today. And in the vision, I saw a chair. And it was a broken chair. And I saw people came around and they tried to mend the broken chair. And when some of them thought they have already mended the chair and they tried sitting on it, I saw the chair brought them down. And I saw other people try mending the chair. And they thought they had mended the chair and they sat on it and the chair was broken. I saw several people. Then I saw a man came and the man mended the chair. And the chair in this new state was far better than its old state. And I saw even those who have come to repair the chair that they could not repair, they were excited that this man has been able to mend and repair the chair. And the man sat on it. And when he sat on it, there was jubilation everywhere. And I saw the man was sitting on it. And the man was Kennedy Ohini Ejapon. I said, and the man I saw was Kennedy Ohini Ejapon. Then I saw there was an attire that was put on him. And on the attire was written, the savior of NPP. And I asked the angel this afternoon, what is this vision that you are showing me? And the angel said, when the New Patriotic Party go to elect their flag bearer, Kennedy Ohini Ejapon will emerge as the new face of the New Patriotic Party. And he is, not shall be, is the savior of the New Patriotic Party. So as they go for their election, everybody vote for whoever you want to vote for. But at the end of the day, NPP, your new flag bearer is Kennedy Ohini Ejapon. My name is Bernard L. Bernard Nelson Eshen. I've told you, Mishan Komango Fompe, but enfame. This is what I'm saying. People get angry. Your anger does not move me. You insult me, your insult does not move me. I prophesy my prophesy. Go and prophesy your own. I have seen what I have seen. Go and see your own. This afternoon, it was so clear as I saw. And me, when I see, I can't keep quiet. That something is doing me. That say it. So listen to me. If I see tomorrow, I'll come and repeat. If I see the next day, if I see here, I will come and say it. Don't say shut up. I won't shut up. Father, we thank you. In Jesus' name.
To the election results. And yes, I spoke about it. I prophesied about it. The same way God has been speaking to me over the years, He spoke to me. But the opposite occurred. The Bible says that let God be true and let all men be liars. I saw right, I heard right, but the opposite had occurred. And so there is nothing I can do, and I can say it's very interesting that in our walk with God, there are times that you feel you know Him so much, you have come to a place, and He always starts and redefines Himself to you. And personally, I think that physically it is difficult to explain, because the same way I've been hearing God speak was the same way I heard Him speak. But for those of you who have followed me over the years, you know that most of the things that He uses me to say come to pass. And so I will not give the blame to God. God is true and every man is a liar. When it comes to God, I will prefer to be the liar for God to be the true one. But that doesn't end it all. Tell your neighbor, it doesn't end it.
Realize that the president of Ghana is not as popular as Shatta Wale. Yeah. And so me, I was in Patapizi and I just shifted last night and joined the SM people. Because I said, no, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I realized Patapizi, me and him, yeah, we all need help. It's been a long time. So I've joined the SM. Now, the reason I'm making such statement is because one person has fought all the media in Ghana, yet is one of the most popular human beings. No billboard, no billboard, no TV announcement, just social media and text message. And I believe more than about 30,000 people were all out there for one young man's birthday. I was shocked. God is bringing you to a place of influence. Please look at me. God is bringing us to a place of influence. So I'm praying that this is the first night that is about to come. May God give us grace to move from here and do our 31st night outside.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that There are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of October 2025, and this is the day the Lord has made. We're indeed glad in it, and we're happy that we're hale and heart to be back here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that matter to you, or the issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. Indeed, it is a rare privilege. My name once again is Awudu Amoro, and I'm happy that you always tune into the show. This is your favorite Good Morning Ghana, my favorite Good Morning Ghana. I'll go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. As always, I'll start with the Daily Graphic. And Daily Graphic this morning says, Red Volta Forest Reserves under siege. Illegal miners, sand winners, herdsmen cause havoc. Education Minister orders CSSPS review, and there's OSP amends charge sheet of Mustafa Hamid and 9 others. Private eye care facilities threaten to suspend services. The Ghanaian Times, special audit saves Ghana 8.1 billion cedis. Deputy Finance Minister, we need 300 million cedis to dredge the silt water sources, and that weeds choke Wager Dam spillway, communities risk flooding. We will support VRA to ensure energy security. Minister. Daily Guide, Bamia best to lead MPP, Akosia Menu, 4 killed, others injured in Garu NHIA office attack. Kenya Japan tightens grip on NPP race. There's OSP hits Mustafa Hamid, 9 others with 29 more charges. Yohunu engages NYPD counterparts. The Inside. Ex-NPA boss faces 54 criminal charges along with 9 others of alleged extortion, money laundering et al. The GWL reveals water supply recovery plan to combat Galamsey impact. No Okuapem Hini exists until Supreme Court directives are followed. Okuapem Queen Mother insists as she rejects Osiadia Yokwesi Ekufu III. There's Ghana cracks down illegal vegetable oil import as TCDA, OPDAG join forces. STEM education is the pillar for Ghana's growth, Molex boss. There's the NHIS reverts to manual processes amid LHIM's crisis. That's Ekuapem South constituents hail MP Adwajiwanu over educational support to SHS freshers. The New Republic. OSP plays hide and seek with NPA trial, charge sheet games, a missing docket and a fugitive finance minister. Millions vanish in mobile money scams. Cyber fraud explodes across Ghana. There's ESLA returns from exile, declares war on NDC, plots NPP comeback. NPP wasted $400 million on Agenda 111 hospital, but no single facility ready for use. That's for the New Republic. The National Enquirer. says Julius Debrez's vision for peace celebrated at Dwamenifa, and there's a cabinet approves Ghana's first marine protected area. Razak Kojo Opoku distances UP Tradition Institute from Alan Chermantin's United Party. The Zambian energy regulators visit NPA to explore, and there's Ghana needs 6 billion cedis to employ 74,000 unemployed health workers. Kandor. 2 wanted suspects in gold smuggling case arrested. And the Zambian energy regulators visit NPA to explore. I think I've looked at that already. Sorry about that. The Catalyst says that 2 banks boost 24-hour economy. Goodbye to Dumso as Ministry of Energy makes major gains. Update on gold smuggling syndicate. 2 wanted suspects in custody arraigned before High Court. NPA hosts Zambian regulators to showcase fuel adulteration solution. And that's with the Catalyst for today. There's Daily Post. Daily Post this morning says that IMF board to consider Ghana's 5th program review in December approves $380 million disbursement. And there's also Veeb Opoku-Agyeman in the U.S. to participate in the Norman E. Borlaug International Dialogue. Now, if a Chief Justice takes benefits, she denied others. That's misbehavior. Thaddeus Sori fires. And then I'll look at the Business and Financial Times. The Business and Financial Times this morning is reporting that fiscal discipline must hold beyond 2016. IMF cautions there's myths. WOMCOM scholarships keen becoming blueprint for Africa. Over 13 million people food insecure. There's high cement prices deepening housing crisis. And there's cross-industry collaboration key to inclusive digital finance ecosystem. Plus, Momo CEO. Millennium Amanfo breaks ground on a legacy project. And finally, Zenith Bank marks 20th anniversary with health walk in Accra. All right, so that's it for the front pages of the newspapers that we have this morning. Please don't go anywhere. I'll introduce my guest shortly.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Edi asema menya oden o tiantie mu amanfo ada wo hye me boso beto phone na mame me phone na say dada menya oden
the most surprised man.
Surprise ben
Surprise.
Hey, Kofi papa phone o iPhone 13 nanya ne
ende me francopho bi mienu amuko circle ene ba ko ne ka chena dan for hour ono ode ne Ghana card ekọ EBA phone so a otua 40% pen edi ne phone ma no a da aka no betua ne kakra Timothy ya me drop na me so me call ho ana me kwanya wo phone de brown.
Oh, Kofi papa me da say I'm sure.
Wo EBA phones hadie yeton iPhones ne ho akade nyina ye sanso de ma wholesale so ye dealer na so pedodo atua na se afi na wo hye iPhone business na sia braya se ye hwehwe ye chira kwan e wa Accra Circle Mall any tiptoe lane modern photos in chain American Monso ye ni odor rice ene edi nhwenim Kumase Yewedum Ejekuma Brunsainim Obetumi so hu yen e wo www.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future. This are
brush your teeth. Brush 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit, happy smile.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late? Of course.
712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah. You go feel the luckiest. Go feel from Georgia be luckiest. From not the pure cause she be luckiest. Me and you go feel be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go feel be that luckiest.
That's Kwamio! Senya God of boom! If you put it at so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Hey! Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Victory, celebration, legacy. It's 40 years of Jesus is our victory. Join Victory Bible Church International for the Wonderful Jesus Conference 2025. A power-packed celebration marking 40 glorious years of God's faith and God's grace. It all begins on Saturday, 12th October with the Mega Praise and Worship Night, a night of pure gratitude and praise. Then get ready for the Wonder Walk on October 25th, a citywide walk of testimony and victory. From October 27th to the 30th of October, the Wonderful Jesus Conference continues live at the VBCI Dominion Sanctuary, Awoshi Junction. Expect nothing but divine encounters, miracles, and transformation. On October 31st, meet us at the Independence Square for a nationwide gathering of worship, power, and the Word. Then on November 1st, join the outreach program at Mancho Agbona. Then let's touch lives and share the love of Jesus Christ. And finally, the grand service at the Independence Square on November 2nd. Come and witness the glory of 40 years of victory. Ministering are Bishop N.A. Takiyaboy, Bishop Clement Amankwa Isehene, Bishop Elijah Saforo, and Bishop Emmanuel Akon. Wonderful Jesus Conference 2025. 40 years of grace, power, and impact. From the 12th of October to the 2nd of November. Victory Bible Church International invites you to celebrate Jesus because Jesus is our victory.
You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. Remember that this show is also live on 94.1 FM. And my name is Awudu Moro. My guests are seated. I'll be introducing them now. So joining us this morning is Dr. Elvis Bota, who is a former Deputy National Organizer of the New Patriotic Party. He's with us this morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Moro. Good to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Yes. Well, we are managing the country. They are saying we don't have good water to drink. Mm-hmm. We need some 300 million Ghana cedis to be able to go closer to having portable drinking water.
You started very early.
Yes, I'm worried about my life because if you go to the hospitals and you see people dying of kidney diseases, you see kids with hole in heart conditions, then you understand that we are in a mess.
First of all, how are you doing?
No, I am. I can't be sure if I'm fine. Because some of these circumstances only lead to imminent health hazards. So you could be suffering underlying consequences without knowing, given that there's no manifestation yet. But we can only be hopeful as a nation of faith that once again God will go through for us.
Ghana Water says we can drink the water that they supply us. Or the providers.
Under what conditions of safety?
It's potable.
My brother Honorable Agbenyo and myself cannot be sure the safety conditions. That is our concern this morning.
Okay. All right. Let me also say that I have a very good friend of mine. He's the Honorable Member of Parliament for the good people of Guan. He's with us this morning. I mean, at some point, as part of my protest, I'll start saying that he's the MP for South. Yes. Maybe when I start that advocacy, our duty bearers will do the needful, because I don't understand why it has to be Guan. I still think they insist that it ought to be South. Honorable Fred, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Good to see you. You're looking good as usual.
Thank you very much.
Doc, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Right.
Are your suits locally procured or sourced, or you buy them from abroad? Because they look really good on you.
I bought in the local market. As whether they were manufactured here or not, I can't tell.
Oh, okay.
But I bought in the Ghanaian market.
But you haven't bothered to check?
Not necessarily. I haven't. What about your shirt? It looks very nice.
I mean, locally sourced.
Are you sure?
I like
the fabric.
Was the fabric to look?
That's what I don't know.
You don't know. So we all don't know something at least. So that's fine.
I believe in domestication.
Why not? There's a way to go. I believe same. Yeah, I believe
same.
Same.
This man, may he so rest in peace.
Yeah, Danlate?
Yes.
You mean Danlate?
Yeah.
Oh, so he died with his party?
His son is still running the party. His son is
in the 2020 elections.
I believe
yeah,
in that philosophy. I believe domestication is the way to go.
Yeah. I know the NDC, I believe, did a fantastic job of making sure that you don't suffer the same fate where founders of political parties die with the party. And I noticed there was a deliberate decision to make sure that with or without Jerry Rawlings, the NDC was going to be kept alive.
Well, as a father,
am I right with my observation?
As a father in the house, when you have kids and they are growing, a time comes when you need to start preparing them to be independent, because whether you like it or not, a day is going to come when you exit. They must be able to function and live without you.
Right.
And the same thing with political parties. Now, if you check most companies, operatorship across, especially in that part of the world, once the torchbearer passes on, the business collapses at that very point. And so, if you want an institution to grow beyond, the flag bearer, what's the name, the torchbearer maybe, then you need to build it on its own structures and strength. Now, I say every day, NDC as a political party is bigger than every individual, including the founder of the party. And that is why we will continue to try, we will continue to grow day in, day out. New persons will come. We are a Congress. We are not a party. We are a congregation of like minds from all backgrounds. We come together. And so we will sing our patriotic song. We say, cadres will go, cadres will come. But the fight continue, the struggle continue. And so yes, we have succeeded in doing that. There are people and historians who will tell you at a certain stage CPP was Kwame Nkrumah and Nkrumah was CPP. And so the exit of Nkrumah, that's what we have today. That is something people like us to contest, because the historical account may not necessarily support this belief. You realize that after 1966, when Nkrumah was overthrown, by 1969, when the Buja and the rest came into office, a law was passed. Even functionaries of the CPP were not allowed to get close to any political office and all that. So there was a deliberate, effort to kill the tradition, Nkrumah's books and everything. So that argument is not completely true when we conclude that because the party was built around Osagyefo, so when he exited, the party died. There was something beyond that. But as you rightly said, NDC, where we sit today, the way we have put our structures in place and everything, it is obvious that we all come and leave, and the party will remain stronger and stronger and stronger. I can only thank those who started the fight, right from the PNDC days through when the party was giving birth to, the people who laid the foundation, the people who sacrificed and paid all the price to give us the tradition that we have today. That arguably has become the biggest political tradition and movement in this country. The movement that thinks about development, the welfare needs of the people. And so we can only salute them for the job they did. We salute the memories of His Excellency President Rawlings. May he continue to rest in peace. And we will continue to soldier on, continue to push the agenda and make sure that the party becomes the party of the people indeed. That when you talk about Ghana's advancement, development and everything, you have nowhere to turn to but to turn to the National Democratic Congress.
Now, Elvis, you wouldn't have faced that problem, would you? I mean, you don't have like a founding father, like a one-man kind of thing where you can credit the person with the formation of the party or the creation of the party. You wouldn't have faced that problem, except that in recent times, we've had some elements who used to be the members of your party who are saying that they've had to leave the party because the party has been hijacked by one person, and that's the former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. When you listen to the members of the newly formed party with the UP Plus or the United Party, they'll tell you that one of the reasons why they left the NPP was because the NPP was becoming a Nana Addo's bona fide property, where what he wanted was what was going to happen, and they didn't think that the party was going to survive beyond Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and hence they have to go ahead and create their own vehicle, and now they have a UP. Never mind what the name of this new political organization is. It's another leg of the conversation. I mean, whilst he was talking about Rawlings, the Rawlings factor, and how they've been able to manage it for the party to survive beyond Rawlings, what's going through your mind with all of this thing that's happening within your own party as well?
Yes, so first of all, the analysis he made of the NDC, you clearly understand that was rooted in a certain history of their very antecedents, where they are coming from, their background. And the background is such that the circumstances that led to the formation of the NDC as a congressional party, embodied a certain personal philosophy of the individual Jerry John Rawlings, and slowly transitioned into an ideology to actually amass people, like you said, from all walks of life. Is sort of an assembly, and this was dictated by the insurgencies of that time. That is completely different from the circumstances of the New Patriotic Party, which also in similar fashion of, its history, became, the coming together of various traditions. You do recall that it was more so at a time where political happenings in the country were more so segregated on either geographical or in some instances ethnic basis. So you had a predominant UP and later PFP, amalgamating with the NPP, which was the Northern People's Party led by SD Dombo and the likes. And so that has been the basis of our tradition. So ours is a unification of various traditions with the mindset to have embody a national identity for a political movement that must not be biased in any of its approaches. Of course, when we talk about the property-owning democracy, which has been wrongly understood in most of the instances as mean gathering wealth for oneself, it actually means what I have just spoken about, that we are able to move on a tangent that allows the nation to take control over its endowment for the common good of the masses. So I think that is where the distinction with the history of the NDC stands. So we do not really have one man. As to the opinions of people like Mr. Alain Chiramanten, and he's now UP Plus whatever he calls it. I do not think that the excuses they ascribe makes any sense to me. You know why? Because if Nanado is your problem, you have had the same Nanado exiting after his constitutional tenure, and you still wanted to be flag bearer of the NPP. So if he had won, would he have still operated on the assumption that the party was being hijacked by Nanado? Is his current assumption a convenient assumption on the basis that he failed to sail through the NPP's primaries? And of course, his history have always been that anytime he is dissatisfied, these threats and attempts to resign has always emerged. We saw it in 2007, and he denied it in the campaigning. But now he says he had resigned in 2007 owing to what he described as maltreatment. So I rather see the UP Plus agenda as a group of disgruntled elements who feel too entitled when they were in the NPP, but as internal democratic circumstances didn't favor them, they chose to actually peddle their own canoe. I do not expect them to have any particular impact in the political space of Ghana. We saw it in his movement of change with an achievement of about 0.24%. It's not going to be anything significantly different. I think that we may have opinions about the governance of the country, but the reality is that the NDC and the NPP are still very indispensable when it comes to the ideological foundations, when it comes to the political growth pillars, when it comes to the international connection and network that is required to run a nation. These group of disgruntled elements do not in any way undermine the ideological potentials of these two political regimes that the country keep, getting. But I can only wish Mr. Kojo Alanchiramanten well. At a very personal level, he's a father and I like him, but I do not side with his political position. And I think that he would have done himself and his political image some good if he had actually quietly held his cool. All this running about as though he's rather more emotional than strategic, for me is quite telling on his reputation, and I'm not too happy about that, given the kind of respect I think he had made for himself in the past.
Let me ask you this, and again, it's one of the reasons that have been adduced by these group of people who have formed their own political party, and that when you read the history of the New Patriotic Party, you look at the groups of people and individuals that have played a role. Anglong Youth Association, GAFIC, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have the Progressive Party. You have, there's so many of them. How then did the MPP end up with this name called Dankwa Buzia Dombo? What has happened to all the other tribes that have contributed to your party's, formation? What has happened to all of them? And the argument that if you have Dankwa Buzia Dombo, what it means for some people is that if I belong to another tribe outside of these three, the likelihood that I would ever find myself to the very top, is very low. How do you respond to this? So my first question is, how did you end up becoming Dankwa Buzia Dombo? For persons who are watching who do not understand. And how do you explain to somebody who says, well, if I don't belong to any of these three, what is my political fate in the MPP? How do you respond to it?
Oh yes, I think that the answer is very straightforward. It is actually not practical that any political party will embody the individual segments of society that completely led to its formation. But we all do understand that, like Nkrumah himself said, in all circumstances, organization and leadership decides it all. So the categorization of the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition is not to say that we are limiting it to the tribes of these individuals. But the reality is that you realize that of all the political groupings you have mentioned, some of them were not outright political parties, but were movements okay, and public negotiating bodies that were playing very crucial political roles in shaping the identity of our state, all right? Not all of them were political parties. Now, at a point before we transitioned into a major political grouping with the Dankwa Buzia Dombo mantra, you would realize that a lot of them have come together in forming various ideological spectrums. So, for example, you take the Northern People's Party. That particular party was led by SD Dombo. So the Dombo bit in the tradition does not mean because Dombo is a Dagao, everybody Dombo means Dagao. No, he became a figurative symbol, okay, of the ideology of the Northern People's Party, which largely embodied a lot of tribes, not even only in Northern Ghana, but as far as into the Bono and the Ahafo areas. So it is the same with the Buzia tradition. If you understand the Buzia Ideological Institute move and the eventual establishment of the Department of Sociology at the University of Ghana, the ideology Buzia stood for went just beyond, politics. He had a direct ideology about rural development. And so that bit in our tradition stands for the philosophy that we must touch the base in terms of rural development. And I appreciate what you are saying because the NPP itself hasn't taken time to school our membership first of all and to actually even explain these things to the public. So it is understandable if people feel cut out. If you recall, when the President Akufo-Addo was in power, there were times he got to Volta region and described Volta region as his home, controversially. He would describe the Volta region as his home because he understands very well that there were very well impactful group of men of integrity there who stood up for what nation building meant, who stood up for what it meant to build a state that is not poor. And so taking inspiration from that, he insists that he has a stronger root with the Volta region. So yes, your concern is understood, but these are the nuances, that goes into it. Okay. And if you go into our constitution, you then realize that critically, this tradition, though a mantra being mentioned, does not find expression in any of our constitutional instruments.
So on hindsight, and we say hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
Do you think that perhaps the NPP should have just maintained the UP? Because there's also some element of optics that come with this Dankwa Buzia Dombo. I mean, you have succinctly rationalized this Dankwa Buzia thing, right?
Yeah.
But if I am your opponent, it becomes very easy for me to make propaganda value out of it. Do you understand? And it's not everybody who you have to go and explain why you have a political party that recognizes, quote and unquote, only 3 segments of our society, ethnocentrically or tribally or ethnically, let me put it that way. So there are some who are saying that for the survival of the new patriotic party itself, in order to be seen as a political party that embraces everybody, regardless of creed, age, and regardless of creed, religion, blah, 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 just maintain your UP. Okay? Now, under UP, which is United Party, you then say, well, everybody's welcome.
No, I disagree. Okay. I disagree on the basis that the formation of the UP was occasioned by a history of division in the party at some point. You remember the Victor Owusu issue and so on and so forth. So at some point, we had learned our lessons and felt that, look, we are all of one ideological tradition with same founding fathers. Fragmentation came in and factionalism led into those circumstances. Why don't we come back in unity to present ourselves under one, symbol to the nation? This was how UP came. So UP, as a united party, was on the basis of the dictates of the times we found ourselves. Because then, in the days of factionalism, and these were in the advent of the UP, we fought ourselves to the extent that Hillel Liman became a convenient man from an unpopular stance but moved straight under the projection of Imoro Egala into becoming president of a nation. Surprisingly, from the civil service into presidency. So it was on the basis of lessons learned. Now, just to address your issue, I do not think that the honor of the core pillars, Dankwa, Buzia, and Dombo symbols, actually connotes an ethnocentric issue. But I agree with you that propaganda can thrive on some value. But history have proven that the NPP is the fastest growing political party in this country.
Okay.
I am young, a 1990 born, but as of around the early 2000s, some of us were in communities where you dare not hold even the flag of an NPP or any of its paraphernalia. It was almost a near sacrilege. But today, we have grown under the same circumstances of whatever the perceptions and speculations about the tradition is, to start winning polling stations that were a no-go area, to start winning NDC members who hitherto did not want to have anything to do with NPP, to even win constituencies, to the point where we produced presidents under even post-Rawlings regime, who knew that J.J. Rawlings would have exited office without handing over to another NDC government. But Ghanaians surprised us. And to the credit of the late Papa J, he really stood by his promise of a democratic state. He handed over power against all the fears we had. So I think that in the end, the final analysis will have it as to how you preach, and market your political product out there, not just tradition. Otherwise, we all know that the NDC had a founding father who is Ewe. But does that mean that other people will not find their way in there? They will, because of the very reason my brother just said, that look, we rationalize our ideology on the need to have a congress of people, an assembly of people. For what purpose? For national development through probity and accountability. That is what people will buy into. So in our very emblem, you realize that the development in freedom becomes the foundational basis for which we build our political product and actually market same thereof. And I think that all we need to do is to keep hammering on that. But I agree with you that in current times, the party requires a strategic, rebranding. And as part of that strategic rebranding, especially with heightening Gen Z population, and giving their very nature and sensitivity, we may have to rethink not our philosophy, but the manner in which we educate the masses and the manner in which we put our branding out there. So your suggestions are good hints, and we're going to take them into consideration.
But I think that largely I agree with Doc on his section and what they think about their history and their tradition, where they're coming from, where they're going as a political party. I tend to disagree with him on his view on Mr. Alan Kyerematen and his political movement and what have you. You see, we say that we take human beings to build a political organization. And it is the interest of your organization that you keep and maintain your numbers and add on, bring new people on board. Now, people naturally will be aggrieved. People naturally will want to break away from a political organization for one reason or the other. And if you check Ghana's history, in fact, even before they come into full-fledged formation of political parties, and even before independent, before UGCC came into being, originally was not a political party. People with a specific interest, market interest and what have you, before they came together, they brought Nkrumah on board. Nkrumah, along the line, disagree with them. From General Secretary became a treasurer of the party and later formed the CPP and left the UGCC and all that. I'm saying that people will break away from political organizations, but as insiders, as communicators, our major responsibility will be to try to bring everybody on board, to try to preach peace. You don't antagonize, right? You don't call their bluff, whether you like it or not. Mr. Alan Kyerematen is a tower in this country. It's a huge figure in this country. If he moves to one or two people. Look at the caliber of people who are following him. These are not people you can take for granted. These are persons who have held very high position even within the NPP in time past. And so for me to call them names, to call their bluff, to assume that they are insignificant, and you want to measure that against their performance in the last election, voters will go into an election and everybody wants his vote to be part of a winning team. And so they may not vote for Alan Kyerematen's movement because they believe at the time they couldn't win an election. So then what is the alternative? You understand? So yes, he may not get the numbers that you are expecting him to get, but what is the effect of his movement on your political party, especially even your stronghold in the Ashanti region? So we are just having a normal general conversation on this issue. So for me, don't assume that they don't matter. I am a believer. I am one person who thinks that where we are now, this geopolitics, this thing we have in NDC, NPP alone in this country, I think we must move beyond that. I've already been calling for a third force, so that when you come into office and you don't govern well, you misbehave as it were, and you go into opposition, and you know that you can stay in opposition for some 16 years, some 20 years. The next time you are given opportunity, you perform well. But currently, it's as if the two of us think that, maximum 8 years, I'm back in office. NDC come and spend 8 years, they'll go and come and spend 8 years. And so people are not minded when they are given opportunity. Let's just do whatever we want to do. When they push us out after 8 years, their neighbors would have forgotten our sins. And then they will bring us. But it's not good for this country. But if you have a third party that can come in, so that when you go into opposition, 16 years under one party, another 16 years under that party, maybe another 4 years, 20 years in opposition, when you are given the opportunity, you will not joke with that opportunity. You want to.
Aren't you advocating this today because per your political calculations, the UP would help the NDC's cause?
Not necessarily. Well, we have had our own history. Go and check our history. You recall before 2000 elections along the line, Mr. Guzitano and then the Reform Party, left our party. You cannot say they didn't have an effect on NDC in the 2000 elections. If you recall again for the 2028 elections along the line, people like Dr. Abed Asamoah look at the structure in the NDC party right from the PNDC days all through to the NDC days. Along the line, he, Francis SCM and the rest, they also left the party. Yes, you can make the case that even though they left the party, NDC still won that particular election. But what was the margin of victory? Right? If they were part of us, just maybe our numbers could have been higher than we got. The point I'm making is that at all material times, we must endeavor to pull everybody along. People will disagree. People have genuine reasons. Political organizations, it's not easy. People go through a lot of things. But I tell people every day, to the extent that you didn't write an application, you didn't go for vetting and interview, it is not an employment that's given to you. You chose voluntarily to join the political philosophy or the ideology. So as and when you think that it is not working according to my expectation or what I wish that it is, you can quietly bow out. But when they are moving en bloc as they are going now, it's not something you want to just gloss over. We have tried very hard that all the persons who left our fold, we have brought largely almost all of the parties back in NDC today. And we are more formidable than, when we operate in those segments. And so my appeal is that you are not comfortable. You are not happy that Alan Kyerematen and his people are gone. The least we can do at this point is to appeal to them, is to continue to talk to them. There are several people, even you may be sitting here and said you cannot say it, but when we leave said, and you want the things that happened in the past 8 years, several of your people are not happy. That's the truth. They tell that the way Nanado governed.
Come to think.
Let me just land. Okay. The way they govern the party, you must necessarily be a Nanado's person to be recognized and accepted in the party. It was so obvious. Once you didn't belong there, once they didn't see you as one of them, they never gave you an opportunity. You were pushed aside. I don't think that's very healthy. That is why some of us, you just come in right now. Some of us are even contesting currently what they are doing now. This bottom-up approach strategy you are using, that you want to elect a flag bearer before you come to national executives and regional, all the way down to a polling station, as you call it. What is going to happen is this. Assuming Kennedy Agyapong emerges as a winner, I'm just giving you an example, right? The thinking is going to be that all the people who become national executives must be people who ascribe to him and who support him. If you don't support the flag bearer, they will come against after you. They didn't support the flag bearer, and therefore we can't trust you to be a national officer. And that will trickle all the way down there. And so it's a major issue they will have to deal with after the 31st January Congress. Okay. It's something that is waiting for them. So for me, political parties, as NDC, we are a Congress. Okay. People from different backgrounds that have come together. Okay. There is no way we can expect that everything will be smooth running. Okay. All of us will think the same way. Okay. What I will do any day, I'll criticize my party internally. Okay. But I will not come and sit on national television and radio and do same. Okay. The problem sometimes I have is when you even want to do internal criticism, and some people think that you must not do it. Even internally, you must not have a position on an issue. All of you must think the same way and do things the same way. Okay. I tend to have a problem like that. All right. We must agree to disagree. It's a political organization.
So we'll take a little breather. But just a second, I beg you. We'll take a little breather. But I want us to look at, briefly when we return, what appears to be the race as to who becomes your next chief scribe. It appears. Moro,
I'm talking to you.
It appears that
Moro, you are becoming something I'm suspicious.
It's becoming more and more interesting.
No. You are using the first 1 hour discussing the NPP. There are several national issues for us to discuss. Moro, are you not listening to your guests? Moro, will you listen to your guests? We can't spend all the time talking about NPP. Let's talk about Ghana and national issues.
Good Morning Ghana. Please, don't go.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354. Also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking Publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Friendly Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso.
Tum preko.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Ama, nansi mi jeno wo bin enko ye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me ho se me nyo basima kra. Ama me kunu ne me into kwankwa. Oyiwa. Enye mo ko. Give us GC lecture and the capsules. Aye num bom. Enho asem na mo kana. Ebua emma ene meme nyina na ma wo ba ye obesima na be ma so aye bemasima ya we be bua wo ku ama ne giant sa wo de hye ne botum na wanyinya na ne ntise se ne oyi chopmo Master Emene Castle. Achesa.
Apemfo abatra wo mo manufuo ne nkwada wo ne fie du mienu ka biedro. Achesa.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late? Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from to be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter what you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it that way, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
You're still watching Good Morning Ghana, your favorite Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro. With me this morning is Dr. Elvis Butta, former national organizer of the, former deputy national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, and also the man who is the member of Parliament for the people of Guan constituency. I'm talking about Mr. Fred Agbenyo, who is also here with us. Now, I was asking. Yeah, you said there's something you want to quickly say as a
yes,
a rebuttal.
Yes, it was. Okay. No, I won't call it a rebuttal. Is a contribution further to the discourse on this issue of the UP Plus thing of Alan. Yes, I am not rejecting the advice from my brother Honorable Agbenyo. I have always advocated for inclusivity, but you see, there is something about the evolving nature of political organizations that we must not lose sight of the fact that they are industries of power brokerage. Now, it means that to survive there, you must be both a lion and a fox. People who become despondent and acrimonious for no significant justifiable cause, but rather on grounds of emotions, you don't give them room to operate. I believe in crushing the fake numbers and growing, with the serious ones. Alan Kyerematen till date cannot explain to the nation that these are my misgivings. He just tells you that the party was biased. In every political system, where there are elections, losers and underdogs will tell you that the system was not fair to them. Was he the only one who ran that election? And let me put this on record. Okay, I was more of a supporter of Alan Kyerematen than for Bawumia ahead of that primaries. Everybody knows my open stance against the happenings under the Akufo-Addo administration, especially in our second term. And I am telling you on national television that Mr. Kyerematen have the right of association. And he can choose when to belong to the party and when to exit. It is sad he did. Like I said, it doesn't augur well for him. But I think that the circumstances that occasioned him were not justifiable. They were not at all. Ahead of the Special Electoral College, I was with him. Ahead of the Special Electoral College, I had the privilege of attending a number of meetings with him. There was nothing wrong with the album. Nobody stopped you from filing at all. Nobody stopped you whatsoever from going to the delegates to campaign. So what is it? So if you are not going to win an election, you must move, then all of us would have left because we were all very unhappy at some point. You realize that our defeat in 2024, I have always maintained that it was not the NDC that won an election in 2024. It was the NPP that lost an election.
Okay.
But in a political organization, if you are a real leader, you stay in and right the wrongs. Kennedy Agyapong contested in that election. He says that there were a few things he wasn't too happy about, but he's staying in to ensure that the party is built up to the expectation of all of us. That is how it should be. But if you go about forming political parties and we can only wish him well. The NPP will not open the floodgate for people in the name of unity. Like you said, the NDC had their own history. After years of fight, you know, the situation settled itself. Maybe after years of battle, our situation will settle itself. I believe that victory, the best art of war, is to defeat the adversary with a battle. And that is what the NPP is going to do now. Whether the top-down approach makes sense to the NDC or not, I am telling you that we are building the magic tool with which to catapult the NDC out of office and come back to power in 2028.
So let's round this off very nicely with the General Secretary race. There's been some development, but before we talk about
General Secretary of
the New Patriotic Party, yes. And thanks for that reminder. But before we talk about it, let's watch this.
Were you here from the very beginning? My understanding is that... Were you here from the very beginning? No, I've been here since morning. Please, can you... You've been here since morning? I've been here since morning. I've been here from the very beginning, today. I was so why did you say no? When the prayers were being If you were said, here, why did you say no? I have been here all morning. I had no idea what you meant by the very beginning. But I have been here. I was here before you entered the chamber. I was here for prayers. I have been here throughout. Minister, do you really listen to yourself when you are talking?
Yɛde yɛn hoɔden yɛn mogya yɛn kra yi nyinaa de bɔ ho ban Nana Akufo-Addo leading the vanguard, Dr. Bawumia nso tai n'akyi ne nyinaa nso so yɛdi akyi yɛmia yɛabɔ so yɛagye yɛman no yɛkɔ so anso agye yɛman ne nkɔ ne aka no yɛde yɛn hoɔden yɛn mogya yɛn kra yi nyinaa de bɔ ho ban Nana Akufo-Addo leading the vanguard, Dr. Bawumia nso tai n'akyi ne nyinaa nso so yɛdi akyi yɛmia yɛabɔ so yɛagye yɛman no yɛkɔ so anso agye yɛman ne nkɔ.
So today's New Republic is reporting that it says declares Esla. So it says Esla returns from exile, declares war on NDC, plots MPP comeback, and that's by today's David Tamaklo's Republic newspaper. And Gifty Boateng, was a reporter with the paper, says that after defeat and exile, former Communications Minister Esla Osu is back with fire and ambition. He claims that Ghanaians were duped to vote for the NDC. She wants to lead the ailing MPP to fight back. Esla Osu Ekufo has resurfaced on the political stage with a fiery denunciation of the ruling NDC and branding the Mahama-led administration as clueless, incompetent, and a mere caretaker government. Now, her remarks, delivered in a statement marking her 61st birthday on October 20, coincide with her former declaration to contest the General Secretary position of the opposition New Patriotic Party. Owusu Ekufo, who suffered a personal defeat in the December 2024 elections, losing her Blekuma West parliamentary seat to Reverend Kweku Addo of the NDC, had remained conspicuously silent in the months following the MPP's electoral collapse. Her re-entry into the fray signals a renewed ambition to shape the party's future direction, even as critics questioning her legacy and accountability. In her statement, the former minister accused the NDC of ascending to power through deception, claiming the party lied its way into government with phantom promises that eroded public confidence in the MPP. Now, this caretaker NDC government is not in office because it is preferred. She wrote, "It is there because it manipulated public sentiment and caused disbelief in us to win." Owusu Ekufo's tenure under President Akufo-Addo, which spanned 8 uninterrupted years, remains marred in controversy. And it goes ahead to talk about some of the issues that the likes of Imani and some other civil society organizations had with Esther whilst she was communications minister. Did you ever know that Esla would be interested in becoming the General Secretary of the NPP? Did you ever hear it?
No, I've never heard it. I also saw it yesterday on our major platform.
So it makes it about 6, isn't it? Annie, if you can put up the artwork that shows a number of persons who are ready. Yes, so that's Charles Dramina. Now, Charles Dramina, I'm told, is the former Director of Finance and Administration of your party headquarters, and also the former Deputy Ambassador to China. That's Charles Dramina. He's called Dr. Charles Dramina. And then there's Justin Frimpong Kodia. We know he's the General Secretary of the party as we speak. There's Sylvester Tete, Botian English, from former MP. And then there's also, of course, there's Lawsu, former Communications Minister. And there's a Dr. Henry. I'm for Dr. Nkao. Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu.
Esquire.
But I don't know whether he's doctor or no. Is ceremonial or PhD, that I don't know.
Maybe
but it's Henry Kwabena Kokofu, that's his name. Actually, it's proper PhD. Okay, Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu. So he's a former EPA executive director or EPA boss. And then there's also Eugene Boachi Entry, who was a former Subing MP. All right, so these are the persons that at least we know publicly, or as a matter of fact, who have expressed interest in contesting the General Secretary position of the party. That's just to give you some more context to what you intend to say.
So,
Esla.
Good one. I cry daily. Where are the days of the Rocha in the NPP? Where are those days? I'm talking about leadership generally. Where are the days of Oyini Into? Where are those days? Where are the days of Kobina Japan? Where are those days? What has happened to the days of Sir John, may he rest in peace? What have become of Set Times? And of course, Dambochi. Where are those days? These are individuals whose spirit, whose fighting spirit in terms of political acumen made the NPP an attractive brand. In fact, where are the days of John Biadu? You can take anything away from Mr. John Biadu. You cannot discount his unmatched prowess when it comes to political strategy and election winning machinations. You cannot take that away from him. Where are those days? Where are those times? Thank God he is coming back.
Are you suggesting these persons we've put up?
I have not made a suggestion. Make an analysis on the basis of your question.
All right.
Thank God that we have had a new time and we are weighing all the people coming up. For me, we lost in elections 2024, not because the NPP had a weaker candidate, but because we had an ailing, fragile political system. There was an absence of a political party. And who do you blame for that? Leadership. Our national chairman and the general secretary did not do a good job in the days rolling up to elections 2024. And I think that, to be quite frank with you, if we must win elections 2028, and there's nothing stopping us from winning elections 2028, it must happen not only with the choice of a strategic flag bearer, of course, we know the flag bearer, but then party leadership counts. We must rebuild a party that is attractive to both our past, our future, and appealing to even the present people, the Gen Zs. All the people so far registering their interest in the general secretaryship, I do not think that in the time being, I am fully satisfied with their ability to be able to construct the paths of unity, the paths of strategy, and that ambience required for an attractive party to win power in 2028.
For them to unveil their vision and their mission.
Oh no, the vision and the mission of a man is centered on his personality. Never get it wrong. When it comes to leadership, the vision of an individual have got a lot to do with your personality.
Okay.
Else, a good vision crafted on the wrong personality will actually, in fact, as time goes on, it's just a matter of time, that wrong personality will betray the vision.
Okay.
And so this whole issue about their contest for general secretaryship, for the chairmanship, I am done with my analysis, and I think that the NPP is better off with John Buedu for national chairman.
Okay.
When it comes to general secretary, I am not able to draw conclusions on it because none of them have impressed me yet.
Okay.
But I think that the party can look out for maturity, can look out for resilience in the face of national political intimidation. We must look out for, a chief executive officer. Remember, the general secretary is always the chief executive officer. Yeah. A chief executive officer who not only understand issues, but have the mastery to mobilize, and to build hidden strategy rather than complain around. This we must watch out clearly. But to say that it is interesting that you have Oslo Usu coming in. We know how forceful Oslo Usu is in her public discourse. I would have expected that she doesn't contest rather for this. But when a party is in opposition and when people lose elections, the way we saw our defeat of some members of parliament, it can be understood why everybody wants to be politically relevant. Because, this whole issue of running political administration in Ghana, your relevance is anchored on two things. One, you must actually have a godfather. This godfatherism thing, especially in the NPP, is a serious thing. Okay. Then the second thing is that if you are not an executive or occupy a formal executive position, forget about it. Okay. So we must be backed by science and facts, and be deliberate about who occupies a particular position. It's not only about the vote. The party must orchestrate a machinery to be deliberate about who is fit for certain positions. Okay. And the vetting process probably will do that.
Fred, whilst I was talking, something just occurred to me. I mean, even within the NDC, there's a lot more talk about the personalities that will be leading it and not necessarily building the party, making sure the party grassroots are happy. You were here the last time, and you were doing your analysis, and I must apologize to you because you had just started with Asedu Nketi. I didn't allow you to analyze the other contestants, and then, we had to end the program. And so I hope that a wrong impression is not created, because you were here to do an analysis and not necessarily to take sides. But he talks a lot, in his submission about, look, it must be party, not necessarily individuals, even though yes, individuals who lead the party are very important. I don't know how you intend to analyze all of this happening in the MPP. Of course, that's with the NDC as well, so that we can wrap this up nicely and move on to some other issues.
Well, I just heard what you read. Apparently, Madam Esla Osu Akufu yesterday declared her intentions to contest as the General Secretary of NPP. And she described NDC government, this kind of the caretaker government. And she said we want power by deceit. And you see, that is, the last time I was here, I made a point that the apologies that MPP functionaries are making are not sincere.
Has just reminded me, it's actually deceit and lies.
The deceit and lies.
Yes, and lies.
The apologies that they are making are not sincere apologies from their hearts. Because from where Esla also sits, they did everything right in government for the past 8 years. And that Ghanaians were so gullible. Ghanaians didn't know what was going on in the country. Ghanaians couldn't think for themselves. And I took NDC functionaries to lie to them. You understand? To lie to them about NPP and to make them unpopular to lose the election. That is what he's telling Ghanaians. That Ghanaians couldn't think for themselves. Ghanaians didn't know the type of governance that the NPP was giving to the people of this country. And so we lied to Ghanaians. I leave that to the people of this country to judge. If indeed the Nanado administration and the NPP government deserve to have stayed in office beyond December 7, 2024, it's for Ghanaians to say it. My brother just said, when we were going for the elections, they didn't have a party. You see, when your government performs abysmally, there is no way the party can do anything different. The reality is that Ghanaians were not satisfied with the performance of the government.
It was you who made it look so.
How can you say this?
according to Esla.
Well,
you may look like things were so bad.
I am very reluctant to want to go into the issue the way I would have loved to do, especially for Esla, but I'm just holding myself. You were in this country, and I don't believe that tomorrow it took people like me to convince you to either vote against the MPP or for another party. Right. All the viewers, everybody was living in this country. Was that what we bargained for? He said we made phantom promises. Esla said that. Then NDC made phantom promises. He wants me to recount the things they said prior to 2016 elections in this country and their performance, the resources that they got, and what they use the resources for. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Now, on our party, as I said, our focus as of today is how to deliver on the mandate the people have given to us. The good governance that we promise the people. It is not for nothing that President Mahama says, per the development architecture of this country, these assemblies are very, very key. That is the base of our development. And so the money that is meant for the assemblies, we are making sure that 80% of the common fund goes back to the assembly for them to plan their own development. The monies that are sitting in the account of this assembly in this country, it has never happened in Ghana's history. The money that has been moved from the central government for these assemblies to build their own schools, build their own hospitals, fix their own roads, create their own employment, it has never happened. We didn't have to come and promise one district $1 million. But there are districts that have more than $1 million in just 2 quarters already. There are districts that have more than $1 million just in 2 quarters. So by the time we are ending the year, some districts will be having more than even $2 million. That is what our government is doing. That's what we are focused on. Once President Mahama's administration succeeds, all the fine gentlemen, my brother Atufosin, who is in the economic management team, the work they are doing, if he puts himself up as a president, very nice gentleman, he has contributed to serve this country well. My brother Anabu Nedrusu, he has served, under Professor Mills, he was a minister of education, a minister of communication at a point, a minister of labor, and then now minister of education. He has seen it all. Former national youth organizer of our party. He's been in parliament for more than 20 years. He has all the experience. Honorable Eric Opoku, who is currently the Minister of Agric. I've heard his name coming up. Fine, fantastic gentleman, on top of his job. He's doing he's doing his work very well. My brother, Honorable Kofi Amabua, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, fantastic personality. As for Chief of Staff, who doesn't know him? Who doesn't know his work? The national chairman. So, we have fine gentlemen whose names so far have come into the public domain as persons who may put themselves up for the election. What is key, what we are focusing on now, is to deliver on our mandate. Once we have governed and governed properly, once we have served this country, once the people of this country are satisfied, so far on the front of the economy, all the indicators are pointing in the positive direction that we are doing the right things, right? We are trying as much as possible to create employment opportunities. As I speak to you right now, almost in every district of this country, we have selected master craftsmen. These master craftsmen have been trained. We are going to resource them. They are now going to recruit other people who want to go into apprenticeship. Maybe somebody wants to go into tailoring, somebody wants to go hairdressing, what have you. They'll recruit them. Government will give them stipends. Government will give them support. They train them. When they finish, we give them support to set themselves up and start doing their own business. That is going on. As we speak now, government is helping so much in giving. We are giving coconut. We are giving cocoa seedlings. We are giving coffee seedlings, so that young people would accept to go into agriculture. Create wealth for themselves and help to build this country. There's so much that is happening around the country currently as we speak. And we have been in office for just 10 months, even less than 10 months. The 10 months has not come to an end yet. I believe that by the time we are into our second year, when fully, all these road projects would have kickstarted properly and work is going on, Ghanaians would have seen that they voted for the best government ever, a government that means to come and develop the people. As I speak today, the president yesterday, we are told, met with the Attorney General, met with the Chief Justice and the rest, that yes, we need to hold people accountable. People have been given the resource of the state to manage. We need to see to it that they use the money for the purpose of which the money were allocated or given to them. And anybody who fall foul of that is taken through the due process of the law. So we are governing. We are focusing on that. Our constitution is very, very clear when we must elect a flag bearer, that when we are in opposition, 2 years before general elections, we elect a flag bearer. Now, when we are in power, a year before elections, we elect a flag bearer. So, yes, persons have the right to show interest, to do whatever they want to do, to go around talking to people here and there. But the focus at this point now is to deliver, is to support President Mahama. That is agenda, his vision, to build a better Ghana, a Ghana that all of us can be proud and happy in. That is achieved. And once that is realized and the party vehicle is in place, whoever we put forward as our candidate is going to win the election. One thing I know for a fact, you can even go and drink the entire water in the sea. You can do whatever you want to do. By the grace of God, and by the work we are doing, and by the support so far that we are getting from the people of this country, I am convinced without any doubt that 2028, when we go to the polls, NDC is going to win the elections. But as I said, we have not gotten there at all yet. And so that is not our focus at this point. Our focus now is to make sure that all uncompleted structures dotted across the place, we're able to bring them to speed. All of them will put to good use, i.e. education infrastructure, health infrastructure, all this that we call them the legacy projects. The president has issued a directive that all assemblies should make sure that all such projects are completed and put to good use. Once we have done that, we have fixed our roles. The children can go to school comfortably. This year, as I speak to you, the children who entered tertiary institution for the first time, all of them, their fees were paid by the state. Some of them paid themselves. Government has reimbursed them. So we are doing everything possible to make life meaningful, to make life easy. The motorway extension program is going to go on. The railway lines are coming in. There's so much that is happening in our country, and very soon people will see the fruit of what they voted for. And so for us, that is the focus now. As for who becomes the MPP, General Secretary, who becomes the chairman, I believe, again, a multi-party democracy. It's a public institution. My desire, my wish is that they will elect the right caliber of people who can steer the affairs of their party, and that should just be it. But if you have people who are running for office and still believe that they lost the election not necessarily because they lost favor of the people of this country or they didn't perform, and that they think that was NDC, that lied to the people of this country, that's why they lost the election, then I'm afraid if I have a person like that become a general secretary with that mindset and mentality, how can he governance his organization to be able to win the next election? It will become a disaster if you put a person like that up. I'm sorry.
All right. So let's move on. I mean, you talked about delivering on the NDC's promise to Ghanaians, which forms the basis for the social contract with Ghanaians. But it's also important that we make persons who have been given opportunity to serve this country to account for their stewardship, isn't it? I mean, we all agree with that as a matter of principle. So the former finance minister has been in the news, and in fact, he's back in the news. I mean, I think it went, you can say, comatose for a while. Comatose as in we're not hearing any update on anything or what's happening with Ken Ofori-Atta. But the matter is back on the front burner. It's back on the front burner because there was some information that was leaked into the public domain about what the Office of the Special Prosecutor was doing in order to bring Ken Ofori-Atta to justice. You know, he's been declared by a judicial warrant that he's a fugitive from justice, an issue which, I mean, it's a title that his lawyers, Frank Davis, themselves have had serious issues with. But never mind, that is what it is. But we also do know that he traveled to America to go and seek for medical attention, and we're told he's recovering from whatever surgery that may have been performed on him. But there have been some other developments which has to do with the efforts that the OSP is making to bring, to make Ken Ofori-Atta face some accountability, and also the role that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice's office is playing or not playing in all of these. So we'll look at some statement which has been issued by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and then we'll juxtapose that against what the Deputy Attorney General has said with regards to Kenneth Ofori-Atta. So please stay with us, don't go anywhere.
Confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man swing, and a sense of Mama Hoto so a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Hooray, Ghana! The Ministry of Transport and its agencies invite you to the Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair 2025. It's the first of its kind in Ghana. From 22nd to 24th October 2025, the World Trade Center Accra comes alive with cars, shape, train, logistics and plane dealers all in one place. Are you a modern car dealer? Do you sell electric vehicles? Then this fair is your platform to shine. Students and the general public will experience free electric car test drives, thrilling maritime showcases, and even free helicopter rides. All 15 agencies under the Ministry of Transport, plus global car dealers, airlines, logistic giants, and investors will be there with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as our guest of honor. Register now at info.digitaligh.org, 0244-613-246, or visit our website www.transportlogfair.org. The Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair 2025. Beyond movement, resetting Ghana's transport future.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
This Wabedum Tamaso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwema Besisia. Abozig. I can say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey, but I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Hey, Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Uncle. Ah, Aji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Uncle. Sorry, well, Uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Arrowfield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share Nanda Daya was mosquito call is to do a munumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima a dronum and sana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Andizaba, and what more did and came Guana Moba. Oh, Jose, and I made the Asamesio. Canny pan, Nasana, Mushiana, what de me. A drain I did in Quano, Kingdom Garlic Bitters. No, no benefit him. Me benefit wine. Also, what told dear? Abrewa, the smile, our brand, Mishuve. One antique a crana wabre. No Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and any capsules, Nanya, what ya bribia.
Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and the capsules.
Assembly and you.
A devil when I'm when I say, send your name wife company one personal. Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules and tea. Say, see, I'm password.
Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules. E many chienya sumdie befi abrebia. Obebia o de poa haw no. Edro ba kupa wo hia ne tremendous capsules. Tremendous capsules. Esiesie wo ma wo ye obesima. Enro yi wo benya bi wo ba bia ye ton ro bia. Kingdom Herbal, no challenger.
Smart, bold, unapologetic. This is Annie Ampofo. The voice of reason, a force of media. She's the one Ghana turns to every Monday morning for the headlines that matter and the conversations that shape all of us.
And on the basis of Article 34, that's the Directive Principles of State Policy, we meet here again this morning, and you're welcome to Good Morning Ghana.
When the afternoon rolls in, she's back, cutting through the noise, asking the tough questions, and bringing clarity to the issues that matter.
A committee to investigate containers carrying ECG cables that are meant for Ghanaians or meant to provide light for the good people of Ghana.
In the morning, in the afternoon, Annie Ampofo isn't just reporting the news. She's shaping the conversations that shape all of us. Annie Ampofo, smart, fearless, unmatched, only on Metro TV.
In Ghana's evolving economy, staying informed isn't an option. Business never sleeps, markets shift, deals are made. Power moves happen. From the boardrooms to the marketplaces, from government policies to global market trends, we bring you the insights, the analysis, and the strategies that shape your money, your business, and your future. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. on Good Afternoon Ghana Business on Metro TV, your ultimate guide to Ghana's evolving business landscape.
Edru ho.
Afi Odra afasheno ebeye krabeshe Ignite Media Odra yakabo mu de enipa bebre enema afi afasheno
Enunti kaye home Metro TV Original 91.9 FM. Yeri free ni je na se el mampon hu afasheno ase ne ani adofo ene mamponfo nyina anom asafonsa akohiem ewo OPK joint eda eye 12th October to 19th October enwumre bia
na woni bibi efie da no ye de grand deba no ebebrel ehonum na ye bedan amamre ne amane di enkabomo edema ekuapeman ye wie soso a ne ye de games ahihye so enti bra ne be kire wo bobre se wo betimi aye games ni bi
na ne memne dan so a eye 25th no so no uni abobo jemeso say asset ye de bo fufu party ebrem uni ade ohia ne warewa ene wo chance fabra ne bedidi free
Ikacho say afi se wentimi ambepie mu ewo Ignite Media Odra afahye we yase a ene na wayo ho
enunti kaye ho na yomfa Odra afahye no ense so shenon so say some spices and Jojo carbonated vodka mix and a soya semi edi jumadi ebrel
Odra
save to save bam.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream. And this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer my calls, Alvaro. I haven't heard anything from you. I've sent you so many messages, but you've never responded.
Have you left the bus station?
I just want to pay my debt and get out of here.
Her photographs are going to sell fast and she will be our gold mine. Our clients will love those.
Are you looking for a boyfriend? Are you all right?
You Are the One, proudly sponsored by The Luckiest, Appointed Time Printing, Time Herbal Mixture, Samu Spices, Givers Herbal Center, Blue Jeans Energy Drink.
You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My guests are still here with us. Dr. Elvis Bota, former Deputy National Organizer of the MPP, and also Mr. Fred Agbanyo, who is the Honorable Member of Parliament for the people of the Guan constituency. So I was talking about what appears to be some, I don't know what I call it, a disagreement or a clash or some kind of a conflict between the Office of the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice and also the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And this is in relation to Ken Ofori-Atta. I mean, we're trying to get Ken Ofori-Atta to come back to Ghana and face some accountability tests. Now, if you look at today's the New Republic is reporting is this, that the OSP shielding Ofori-Atta, AG cries out, high-profile probes fade as public trust collapses. Now, Gifty Boateng and Prince Ahinkra are reporting for today's New Republic. They say that the Office of the Special Prosecutor is once again in the eye of a political storm, this time for allegedly obstructing its own extradition effort against former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. The public is furious and legal observers are sounding alarm over what they describe as a pattern of delay, deflection and dysfunction under Special Prosecutor Kisi Ejabeng. Now, despite requesting presidential assistance in June to bring Ofori-Atta back from the United States to face trial, the OSP has refused to hand over the investigative docket to the Attorney General's office, the only body legally empowered to initiate extradition. Now, the AG's repeated requests have gone unanswered for over a month, leaving the process in limbo and fueling accusations that the OSP is deliberately stalling. A familiar script, loud beginnings, silent endings. Now, this latest impasse fits a troubling pattern. Since its inception, the OSP has launched several high-profile investigations with media fanfare, only to go silent when results are expected. Now, from procurement scandals to politically exposed persons, many cases have quietly faded without explanation, despite public interest and taxpayer funding. Ofori-Atta, who fled Ghana in January and was declared a fugitive in June, is wanted in connection with three major corruption probes. One, payments for abandoned National Cathedral project, the controversial SMO GRA contract, the termination of a technology deal with BXC. Yet, instead of cooperating with the AG's office to process his extradition, the OSP responded only with the names of two prosecutors to join the team, conspicuously omitting the docket and investigative report. Now, we're told that the public's patience is wearing thin. Citizens, civil society groups, and legal experts are demanding to know why the OSP continues to sit in politically sensitive cases without explanation. Many are asking why the office won't prosecute Ofori-Atta in absentia, given his prolonged stay in the U.S. under the guise of medical treatment. Ajabeng, a seasoned lawyer, insists on the former minister's physical presence, a stance critics say is convenient excuse to delay proceedings indefinitely. Now, the USP's refusal to act decisively has triggered a broader crisis confidence in Ghana's anti-corruption framework. With no successful prosecution since Ajabeng's appointment and a growing list of stalled cases, many now question whether the office is fit for purpose or merely a political smokescreen. As the AG's office awaits cooperation and the public demands answers, one thing is clear: the OSP's credibility is on the line, and unless it breaks its silence and delivers results, the institution risks becoming a symbol of the very impunity it created to fight. Now, closely related to this one is the it's the statement which was issued by the Deputy AG in relation to this particular matter, and Samit Akon, as we don't know him, is in charge of communications and I think strategy or something like that. Now he issues this communications and he says that there is no bad blood between the office of the special prosecutor and the Attorney General's office, or is there any contention over the case docket? Now the issue at hand is primarily one of timing. Now the OSP is nearing completion of his work on some of the cases involved. Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta and will, in due course, submit the necessary information required to complete the extradition process to the AG. Now, the OSP has been focused on finalizing these investigations. That is also intends to file charges in several related cases involving Mr. Ofori-Atta and other individuals. It is understandable that the AG may be under public pressure, particularly regarding progress on the oral matter, and that there is widespread interest in seeing Mr. Ofori-Atta brought to trial. However, just as the AG has often reminded the public, especially supporters of the NDC, that investigations and prosecutions take time, the same understanding should be extended to the OSP. The OSP operates as an independent prosecutorial body with investigative powers and a specific limited jurisdiction for certain corruption and corruption-related offences, which Mr. Ofori-Atta is alleged to have breached. I am aware that a special prosecutor is expected to complete and transmit the necessary information to the AG this week to facilitate the extradition process. What is of concern, however, is the partial leakage of information, which poses potential risks to OSP officers mentioned in the report and may create unfounded perception of political bias or interference in the ongoing extradition proceedings. Certainly, the leak could not have originated from the OSP. The office would never compromise the safety of its officers or jeopardize a case it has pursued diligently since February. Despite criticism from those who thought it was being unreasonable or inconsiderate when it maintained that Mr. Ofori-Atta was unwilling to return, and despite being ridiculed for stating that it could not place him on an Interpol red notice. For the record, since the correspondence was leaked, it is important to note that one crucial document was not part of the leak. On June 2, the OSP wrote to the political authority seeking the government's position on the extradition matter. And then on June 3, the Chief of Staff wrote to the Attorney General directing cooperation with the OSP's request to initiate the extradition of Mr. Kenneth Ofori-Atta. Now, on 13th June, the AG wrote to the OSP requesting the names of OSP officers who would handle the extradition process as well as a case docket. Now, on June 20, the OSP responded with the names of its designated officers and explained that it was in the process of finalizing the case or the cases. The office noted that it had conducted searches and seized servers, computers and documents from SML, which were being analyzed for evidential value and would be incorporated into an investigative report for submission to the AG to aid in completing the extradition documentation. In September, the AG again wrote to the OSP to request an update on progress and inquired whether the office could provide even a preliminary investigative report on the absence of the completed docket. This is the letter which was not leaked. I don't know why. Now, this particular correspondence was never leaked, as previously stated. The OSP is finalizing the investigative report and will soon transmit it to the AG. Therefore, it is between September and October that there has been a brief gap. One that the OSP is currently working to fill by completing and transmitting the final investigative report to the Attorney General. That is not a delay or unwillingness. It is finalizing the work. That's from Sami Darko. Sami Darko, I think he's in charge of strategy and communications, I believe so. Let me quickly check that. Yes, so he's the director of Strategy, Research and Communication Division of the OSP. So, Elvis, what do you make of all of these?
Well, it's surprising that we don't have time, and yet you had to go the full length of reading this.
It's important. I mean, it's
yeah, but I mean, for the benefit, that's fine.
The benefit of
I don't just understand. You see, this is a classical definition of an armchair approach to the fight against corruption.
Why do you say so?
We are having a government banking, achievement on the basis of trivialities. This is trivial governance, nothing but trivial governance. If you want to fight corruption, there is an approach to it, and the approach must be straightforward, the approach must be plain, and the approach must be legal. Now, under our criminal jurisprudence, it does not only lie in the efforts of a particular arm of the bureaucracy to be able to hand down crime and to be able to hand down especially issues about public corruption. Remember that some of the concerns the NDC itself raised whilst in opposition on the establishment of the Office of the Special Prosecution had to do with the fact that we were on an unnecessary duplication of bureaucracy, which to a certain extent makes a lot of sense. Now, what then is suggested that there are other avenues by which we can tackle the issue of Ken Ofori-Atta. Indeed, this same special prosecutor, in my estimation, appeared to have been used in the early days of the office, the governance of the NDC, to actually blacklist, blackmail, and to actually darken the reputation of a lot of former government functionaries, including Ken Ofori-Atta. Some of us, even from the NPP, had advocated that Ken Ofori-Atta be dealt with, any former government appointee be dealt with, if indeed there are factual basis for fighting them on any wrongdoing. Nearly a year down the line, we are still being given the excuse that the too much noise made to the point where Ken Ofori-Atta was declared a fugitive of justice do not still constitute enough grounds for prosecution.
A fugitive from justice. Okay,
and we are hiding under the works of and delays of special prosecutor. Does the Attorney General actually need the express works of the special prosecutor to embark on extradition? These are critical questions. Why they need a docket? If the office of the special prosecutor is not doing a good job, what stops the president from firing him? What stops that? What stops him from being set aside? Why are we leaving him there? Leaving him there is an endorsement of the approach he is using. Today they turn around to make it look as if he is the problem and not Ken Ofori-Atta. The president, in fact, the Attorney General the matter can be referred to the CID for express works. When it comes to building of dockets, we all know it to be fast-tracked there. Since it's a crime, the CID can handle it. So I think that the NDC government is looking for excuses as to why they cannot deal with issues they told us were corruptible acts. If indeed Ken Ofori-Atta have done anything wrong, there should be an avenue. Okay, let's put aside Ken Ofori-Atta. There are a number of former government functionaries, they have told us, okay, that these guys have done wrong. What have they done to them? Do they also require extradition? No. So clearly you have, a lazy approach and a deliberate effort not to be able to deal with these matters. And I am beginning to suspect that perhaps most of the things they leveled against him are not true. How many days does it take to build a reliable docket? Just the things you read, there was an indication at some point yesterday where immediately after just the Deputy Attorney General, okay, Dr. Justice spoke, somebody, I think that's the Director for Research and Communications from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, also actually made a statement that I think by close of today also the docket will be ready. You see, if there are no basis to building credible dockets that can have the right document for evidence to prosecute people, don't run to the media space to go and tarnish the reputation of these individuals ahead of the administration of justice. And that approach, that useless and clueless approach used by Ajabing that is turning against him today, is the same approach Dominic Ayini is also using, where he comes to the media, read a litany of issues to a point of near judgment of culpability on people, and walk away and we don't see prosecution. And walk away and there is no results. You see, government in, government out must understand that our nation, our state, require growth and development for the masses. Can there be a way for extradition to occur? Can they? Is the Attorney General telling us that if it will take the Office of the Special Prosecutor 10 years to build a docket, they are constrained? No, I don't think they are constrained. Ultimate justice and its administration lies, okay, in him when it comes to the legal application of it. He is the Attorney General. He is the minister in charge of justice. All these letters and correspondences between the chief of staff and these institutions have got no locus. If Kisi Ajabing is the problem as they are making us believe today, they should fire him. If Kisi Ajabing is not doing something they think he should do, he himself is not above the law. So you see, when you win elections on the basis of too much talk, which we have witnessed a lot in this country, your inefficiencies in government begins to expose you. And that is clearly what is at play. I don't understand that a man whose head everybody was calling for, even when his own party was in power, we had our own set of issues with him. Okay, granted that he was a darling boy of Nana Akufo-Addo, and that was the reason he could not be dealt with. A sermon that was largely preached by the NDC. Today, that sermon, which stood the test of time, supported by the actions of even some members of parliament of the NPP, cannot be used to the advantage of the state in having the right approach to prosecuting him. In any event, why are they making us think that from the legal angle, it is only upon extradition we can deal with the purported crime of Mr. What's the name again? Ken Ofori-Atta. It is not the only avenue to having justice meted to the state. In fact, he can be prosecuted in absentia. What about that option? Why are they not exercising that option? Or there again, it is the office of the special prosecutor that has become an impediment to the Attorney General, in whose hands, ultimate prosecution lies from doing so. It doesn't just add up. It amounts to the same gymnastics of government to, at the end of the day, build, an avenue of defense and an excuse to run away from their inability to fight issues they themselves told the state had happened. Okay. So this media issue of making too much noise about seeming culpability of people for corruption should stop if government know they are not ready with what it takes to deal with the matter now. One thing about success, in which all of us will attest to, is the fact that success doesn't need to be marketed. Anybody who achieves success and must suffer and struggle to drum it home, there's a question to it. Okay. So I think that if the government must be serious about corruption, they can redefine their strategy away from the too much PR to ensuring that, okay, we do a neat underground job well, even if it is in their last 1 week in office. In 2028, they are going to court, but they go and win the case for Ghana. They go and win. I am for the prosecution of anybody who has been corrupt in the previous administration. Even if my own mother were to be in a position of public trust, okay, let the law be applied, but don't come and tarnish the image of it. So it is trivial governance, nothing but trivial governance, and it's just only a matter of time that this government will be exposed on these kind of things they are talking about. Okay. You notice that in line with similar, tactics, okay, again, another mark of unseriousness in governance. The president summoned the Chief Justice, the Auditor General, and one other officer like that on the need to deal with audit, infractions. There's no serious governance in this country. Okay. A serious president will not be wasting his time on these kind of meetings. All right. A simple memo such as what they claim the Chief Justice, not the Chief Justice, the Chief of Staff, wrote at the instance of Ken Ofori-Atta could have sufficed in ensuring that these institutions that have already been given mandate, by legislation, proceed to do their work. Doesn't require a presidential meeting with these people. So, you see, we are playing to the optics. Okay. We are playing to the media. And sometimes I just still think that government feels they are still campaigning. Okay. You can buy into this argument or not, but at the end of the day, this approach is not going to give us outcomes. And as a state, Moro, are we, by the way, not too tired with all of these media issues, with critical governance issues, critical national security issues? Okay, the issue of extradition is not only a legal matter, it's a national security issue. You think that the extraditing state will not need to be sure that the human rights of the person you are seeking them to extradite will not be violated? Okay. So if you come to the media space and come and pass near judgment on people as though there is no avenue for defense, my brother, what it means is that your emotional conduct on the matter can be a pointer to your desire for molestation. You think they will release the person so that the person's human rights will be abused? Okay. This is the mistake the state keep making. Okay. And the NDC government that appear to want to convince us they have learned a lot of lessons in opposition are repeating. My advice to Mr. President shall therefore be that enough of the optics, enough of the speeches. We no longer want declarations in this country. We want transformation.
Okay.
So this whole issue of coming to do these things, and when they talk, you tell us, oh, the previous administration also did this. Where will that equalization take us to?
Okay.
So clearly, my conclusion is that there are other legal avenues to deal with the issue of Ken Ofori-Atta and the issue of other corrupt practices as purported on previous appointees. They must proceed to court. Let us see action. Let us know the cases are in motion.
Okay.
Let us know these things rather than this trivialization of the fight of corruption.
Okay.
And for me, let us watch the skies well. And let us read the Times.
Okay.
I can tell you that majority of these things they made PR about. No, why are you advocating for them to stop me? Majority of, no, I've not said it already. How do you know what I'm going to say? Okay. Majority of these things they have done, practically making people look as if they are guilty of the crimes they've allegedly committed, will end up not seeing good judgment in courts. Right. Watch it. And that will be the height of betrayal to the state by this NDC government.
Are you one of those who is equally worried about the fact that we're trying to get that's Fred. We're trying to get an extradition request done, okay, and it's in the public domain. I mean, when you would have ordinarily expected that these processes are supposed to be confidential, you know, because it must adhere strictly to all kinds of bilateral and multilateral treaties. It's about people's, you know, how do you call it, personal rights and liberties and so on. And yet it's in the public domain. I mean, who possibly leaked that information in the public domain as to what correspondence is happening between the Aegis Department and that of the OSP? To what end? I mean, how?
Moro, sometimes it is difficult to objectively analyze some of these issues. And from where we sit, it is not just a mere perception that there was so much wrongdoing in the past administration. If you take your cameras out of this studio and you talk to Ghanaians on the streets, you visit our villages and our homes, you'll be surprised the kind of things Ghanaians will tell you. And so the people of this country believe that persons who were given opportunity to serve and who decided to, you know, misappropriate or allegedly amass at the expense of the state must be brought to justice and must be called to account for their stewardship. I believe same. And some way, somehow, the perception out there is that the whole system is slow. People who want to say these things fast track. But as the people within the law fraternity will tell you, the will of justice grinds slowly. And sometimes it can be very, very frustrating. It can be a bit disappointing. It can even come across as though nothing is being done, when in reality, you don't want to, on the altar of political expediency, just bundle anybody and throw him to jail because you assume he has done some wrongdoing. Now, per the governance architecture that we have, per our constitution, the only body that has the power to pronounce anybody guilty is a court of competent jurisdiction. And so you and I can have our own perceptions, can have our own belief, can run our own commentary based on what we think we believe or we saw. But until that is crystallized into an evidence, adducible in court, and a judge making a pronouncement on it, it remains allegations. There are several things that we all heard, we all saw prior to the 2024 elections. And if what we heard and saw was anything to go by, the expectation is that by now, several people should be in jail, right? But in a democracy, things don't work like that. You know, we have a past as a nation where we have come from. Where in years back, you will not be allowed maybe a day in court to go and defend yourself. We could have used other means to punish you as a nation. But we said we don't want those again. Now we want rule of law. We want people to go to court and go and defend themselves. And so sometimes the system, you sit back yourself and say, like, what is going on here? Right? For instance, if you take the cathedral issue, all the exposés that were made by Honorable Akujeto at the time, you ask yourself, do we need additional investigation or information to be able to prosecute people who were involved? But in law, those perceptions alone are not enough to go to court and go and make a case and win a case. You need concrete evidence. The president demonstrated his commitment to fighting this thing even before he was sworn into office. He set up the Ora Committee, whose duty and responsibility was to gather information about wrongdoing in the society and see how such persons could be punished. When they finished their work, they submitted their report to His Excellency the President. The President subsequently forwarded it to the Attorney General's Department for them to build a case, build a docket, and head to court. I am aware this plea bargaining agreement that we have come into, that several people go to Attorney General's office every day and accept that, okay, we're involved in some wrongdoing or we misappropriated some resources and that we are ready to pay. My view is that to the extent that this whole issue has become a public issue and Ghanaians have very high expectation of the outcomes, this thing should not be done quietly. If people have worked to you to admit wrongdoing or that misappropriation of funds and they are willing to pay, I think that information must be available to the Ghanaian public. That information must be available to the Ghanaian public so that the impression is not created as though people are just sleeping on their job and nothing has been done. People who are manning the office of the special prosecutor must have sober reflection on what is the perception of Ghanaians about that institution since its creation. Martin Amidu was the first person to occupy that office. Eventually, he was booted out. Ajabin came into the office. Even before the MP administrator appointed him, left the office.
He resigned.
Mr. Amidu resigned.
Yeah, he resigned.
That's right.
Yes.
Thanks for the correction. He resigned. And then Ajabin was appointed. Even the MP administrator appointed Ajabin at a point, they were frustrated with his work. And that they caused to complain several times about the way he was proceeding. You know, Ghanaians are not interested in the public show. Because Ghanaians believe that there was some wrongdoing. Ghanaians want people punished. See, 3 days ago, I visited a family just to go and say hello to them. And in a conversation, the man was praising the president and the government, you know, on the economic front, all the nice things are happening, things are going on very well. Then the wife retorted, you can do whatever you want to do. You can build a resilient economy. If you refuse to punish wrongdoers in this country, Ghanaians will not forgive your administration. And I was shocked. The way she said it, and I don't want to call it the anger, the body language with which she said it. And so the expectations of the people of this country is so high that when people are given positions of responsibility, people are entrusted with the resources of this country, they want to see those things managed to the benefit of the people of this country. And so I sincerely want to plead with the Attorney General's Department. Yes, we all know they have a lot of challenges, the number of cases they have to handle, the number of staff they have and all that.
Okay.
And we even have to go back and look at this our court system, this thing that we call legal vacation, that almost all the courts will be closed down, just a skeletal court that will be operating. Can we look at it again? You understand? Because just like in the civil service and other places, individuals are allowed to go on leave. So as and when, a judge can go on leave. But this wholesale closing down of the court and having just a skeletal system working, it's also not helping, the speedy adjudication of some of these cases. I remember that President Kufuor, he brought this in, they call the fast track high court. Yes. It didn't exist, in the form and shape in which it was created.
But struck it down.
Yes, it was. But can we go back into law? Can we look at it very well? The people have this expectation that we should even have these tribunals, right? These regional tribunals and the rest, which can even handle some of these cases.
That's part of the NDC's manifesto.
It is something that the expectation that we should do it, because people think that the system is quite not moving fast. Now, Ajabin, I think it was in April or May that they came out about this whole thing about Ken Ofori-Atta. They are looking for him. They have placed a red alert on him. And they have placed him on Interpol alert. What all the things, and he raised everybody's expectation that something was going to happen. Then by June, July, August, so as if everything just feels that nobody was hearing anything again. Up until yesterday, again. So it's as if you are joking with the emotions of Ghanaians or you are playing with the intelligence of Ghanaians. If you think that there's some wrongdoing based on the facts or the investigation you have done, furnish the Attorney General's office with the docket of their investigations. Then they can look at it and then proceed to court to get the man prosecuted. But if that become press conferences here and there and we are not getting follow-up actions, then it becomes a bit problematic.
Okay.
It becomes very problematic. And so we want to plead with them. I know Dr. Ayeni and his deputy, they are not sleeping, they are working tirelessly, they are working very hard. They want to, but the expectation of Ghanaians is more than just that. Like I said, I know, I am aware, I've heard of people who are going to their office on daily basis. People who are going to Yoko on daily basis. Ghanaians want to hear. Ghanaians want to see this thing. The only time we hear people have gone to Yoko is when they've been detained because they cannot meet their bail condition. Then when their political parties organize before we. Otherwise, people are going there on daily basis.
Okay.
I think that my brother Raymond Acha, maybe you should put this information in the public domain. Every week, let us know the number of people who have appeared before, maybe you or you come before your office, and whatever covenant that has taken place. If that's what you want to do, why not go ahead? Attorney General, let us know that person A or person B has come before us. This is where we are on the issue. This is where we have arrived. At least that's frequent update is of this pressure that is coming from every court. Otherwise, the perception will be that nothing is being done and we are just crucifying people in the media. And it ends there. That is what Ghanaians are looking for. Okay. There's so much that we believe happen in this country that people must be punished for. But the truth is that it was not just yesterday or 2 days ago. The former chief executive of NPA and some other people, they were in court. Yes. The national service issues, they are still, I think they are in court. Wound to me and the Galamsey issues, there are several cases that are in court. I think somebody under the PRO, the communication department of the ministry, must make it a point, weekly update of what exactly is going on, where we are going, we have gotten to, not the substantive issues, but at least let us know exactly what is happening within your setup. It will bring down the tension and the expectation that Ghanaians have so that you can proceed and do your work. And I dare say, you see, there was something that happened when NDC came into office in 2009 under Professor Mills that became a major issue. Recently, there was a book that was published by Professor Hue, where it was stated that there were some persons who had been, earmarked to go and face trial along the line. Professor Mills said no, they should let go of the issue, and became a whole issue. Later, when they came back into office, the issue was that you said we were corrupt. You came into office for 8 years, you couldn't even prosecute anybody. And so if we were corrupt, how can you couldn't prosecute anybody? I don't think we want that thing again moving forward. Okay. If NDC people are engaged in wrongdoing, let them face the law. If any people are engaged in wrongdoing, let us face the law. I take the very serious exception to the description that Elvis gave to the president when he said, if the president were serious. Okay. I don't think that is good language. You said that. I wrote it down. You said a serious president to suggest that the president is not serious. You and I may have our views, we may have an opinion as to how things must be done. From where the president sits, the information available to him and the things he knows, you cannot expect him to act and behave the way you and I necessarily want him to do. He will do things based on law. If the president invites the Attorney General, the Chief Justice, and says that Ghanaians are complaining, every day Parliament will hold this public accounts committee. People will appear before the committee and mentioning huge sums of money that has been misappropriated. After the cameras and the public show, it ends at that level. Now the president is saying that, can we look at this thing? If there's no provision in law that will make it possible for us to prosecute them subsequently, can we look at it and position it such that when it comes out truly that people are involved in wrongdoing, the people are made to face, the law. I don't think he has done anything wrong for him to be described as a non-place.
You don't need to be offended by my...
No, but you see, let me just land. Let me just land. Oh no, but I've agreed with you. I've agreed with you. I am saying that you can withdraw that. You can no, but you didn't consider it anyway. The way
you say contextually,
you are not withdrawing it. That's fine. That's fine.
You see,
but it is important that you let me just continue. Let me just continue.
I've even insulted presidents.
Let me just continue. You see, wrong is wrong.
But I'm saying that
wrong is wrong. I will criticize.
Moro.
Can I? Elvis. Oh no. When I finish, you come in. When you were speaking, I wrote it down. No, I wrote it down. When I could have interjected, Elvis, I could have interjected when you were speaking. I kept quiet. I wrote it down. So that when I finish, so write it down. You can respond to it. I beg you. I am saying that the way you put it, the way you went about it, in my view, was not right. Don't justify by saying that some persons have insulted president in the past, and so you can do same and we should allow it to slide. No, by inference that the conclusion to drop. The point I'm making, what is wrong is wrong. I can be very hard on the president. I can criticize the former president. I can criticize Bawumia, but I will not openly insult any of them. I can't. And I will not do that. And I think that all of us, incumbent on us, that we must look beyond the personality that is occupying the space. That is the embodiment of all of us. That's the president. That's the man that occupies it. So if you say your president is not a serious person, for me, I think that was too harsh. You can put it in a different way. Right. That's the point I want to make. Okay, so let me conclude by saying that Attorney General's Department, OSP, and all the investigative bodies, Ghanaians want to see action. Ghanaians want to see results. Okay. Ghanaians want to see something being done. Okay. Whatever it is that you are doing in your office on a daily basis, please carry the people of Ghana along. All right. Let us know. Let us be aware. Okay. Update us so that all this, agitations and this thing will come down.
So if you don't have time, you see your statement is very conditional. My brother asked me to write down and you support it. I have written down. And you are now telling me to let you talk, and when there is time, you give me a minute or two. Then at the end of the day, before I realize, you tell me there is no time.
We just have 2 minutes to go.
I want to read messages. So there's no need to talk again.
Why is there no need?
You said you can
sit down on your admonition.
So Elvis, let me just briefly back. Let me just quickly briefly. So Desmond, who is the managing editor of the Catalyst newspaper, he sends a message. Now Desmond says that from Sami Darkun's explanation, it is clear that the docket was not ready when the OSP wrote that she wrote to the Chief of Staff to initiate Ken Ofori-Attah's extradition from the US, even before the matter was referred to the Attorney General. Mm-hmm. 2 questions come to mind. 1, why did the OSP write to the Chief of Staff instead of the Attorney General, right? Does that not amount to incompetence? That's from Desmond. 2, it says clearly the docket was not ready. So why begin the extradition process at all? It is obvious that the OSP either didn't know it was required to hand the docket over to the Attorney General for the purpose of the extradition, or he is deliberately playing all of us. Either way, we have a serious problem. That's from Desmond. Desmond, what's actually your full name? Sorry, Desmond, if you can tell me your full name, that would be appreciated. Now, Carlos from Odododio, he sends a message. Carlos says, good morning, my brother Moro. On the OSP issue, the government must read between the lines. The OSP seems to be up to some mischief and using delay tactics to frustrate efforts to prosecute those who appointed him. Now, some security agencies and even people within the government are part of the problem. It is sad to see those who should face justice now seeking positions. The government must sit up. The masses are watching. Carlos from Ododo, God bless you. And Carlos says I should tell you that you shouldn't wear suit again. I don't know what his reason is. Carlos, what's your reason for asking him not to wear suit again? Why? It doesn't look good on him?
We shouldn't wear suit.
Oh, Desmond Darko. Yes, okay. Darko, actually. Desmond Darko, yes. Desmond, thank you very much for sending me your full name, and I appreciate that. So, Alfred Kojo Treadles sends a message. He said, good morning.
Alfred Darko.
Good morning, Moradu, and to your cherished viewers. I seriously think that the NDC led by the visionary leader, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, should shut the office of the OSP and allocate this budget to the Attorney General, Yoko, and the CID. I believe that will be more useful. Kise Jabing in that office, as the OSP will not and would never prosecute a foul. He is just playing games. That's from Treadles. Dennis Gla says, good morning. The OSP is simply incompetent, period. Okay. Samuel Brian Boabeng says that moreover, the same William Kise Jabing has refused to hand over the Airbus scandal docket to the Attorney General's office after his dubious 419-style interview with Mr. Mahama and his brother Samuel Foster Mahama in London. Ken Ofori-Atta owes no obligation to appear. If I were him, I wouldn't waste a minute of any time on shady prosecutors whose actions are only in pursuit of personal and third-party benefits and not the state. If the incompetent and rogue special prosecutor has any credible case, he should proceed to charge and try him in absentia. We know his tactics. No La Bianca style theatrics this time. Samuel Brian Boabing from Awoshi. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. Truth be told, the office of the OSP is doing more harm than good to this nation. According to the SP, some months ago told us that Mr. Ofori-Atta is on the wanted list, and he even went further to say Mr. Ofori-Atta is a fugitive of justice. So what stops them from bringing him down to face prosecution? My brother, we actually have been told that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta can equally be tried in Ghana here whilst he's away in the US. We are talking about trial in absentia. So what is stopping them? My brother's case is a serious public interest case, and because of this, I can tell you with all the authority that the public is not happy with this government. The earlier they do something about this case, the better for all of us. I have a particular interest in the matter of the national category, which is also part of the case. So the government should set up and do the right thing before it's too late. My regards to the National Security Coordinator, Mr. Razak Osman, who's doing a good job for his nation. Moro, good morning. All right, that's from Alhaji Hamza. So Ali Horeya, who is the Greater Accra Regional Zongo Caucus of the NDC, he says, good morning, my brother. Mark it somewhere in the studio. Very soon, Dr. Bota will be part of those who will be starting what? Rattling? That the government is witch hunting the appointees of the previous regime. My greetings, Honorable Fred. So, yes, your friend Ali Horea says, good morning, yes. Now, Sani Salihu says that can Dr. Bota dish out one better plan of bringing KOA, that's Ken Ofori-Atta, back to Ghana? The wheel of justice grinds slowly, and for Mr. Ofori-Atta to be restricted to Maryland and Washington, only where hitherto he was flip-flopping between UK and US, tells us he's alarmed. The AG as well other statutory investigative bodies go along with the people of Ghana, hence the PR good work, not a political gimmick nor trivial. Our choice of words should be aptly civil. Good morning. And it says the Sani Salihu Offenso Obofuo. Prosper Ashikwe. That's a very good friend. Prosper. Now, Prosper Ashikwe from Asalam Down says, good morning. MP politicians are talkers. I can tell you on authority that should Ken Ofori-Atta be brought in today and justice meted out, the narrative of Dr. Bota there would be different. Everything you see today, whether it will change or not, it's in a womb of time. Good morning from somewhere in Africa. Hey, my man, you are chilling, Prosper. Now, Papa Bisu sends a message. It says, and on the survival of MP relative to Alan's new party and then the excellent performance of NDC government relative to the good governance, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his team are dishing out for the betterment of all Ghanaians. I'm seeing the end of the road for MPP's dominance in their few strongholds, especially in Ashanti region. Seeing power again is now an illusion. Papa Bisu Spain Tech sends that message. And I guess that would have to end it here. So, Alhaji Razak Khailan says, Mora, Elvis actually largely expressed the feeling of the public. But for him to say that the president is not serious is quite unacceptable. I never expected such comments from him. And so that's the... All right, so I guess that we have to end the show now.
Oh, no, Moro.
Okay, 1 minute.
Moro, you
just
cannot
1
do
minute, I
that.
beg you. Otherwise, we'll take
You cannot do that.
You have just 1 minute.
You see, the intolerance...
Sorry?
Garu has always been noted for issues
just
of
1 minute, 1 minute, just 1 minute.
You see, the intolerance on the fact that relative to this issue of fighting the Kenoforiate, and I said, I'm interested because even me, go to Pan-Africa TV, go to Star FM, I have been on record as advocating for him to be dealt with. So, if I am saying that, judging from what the previous this administration said when they were in opposition, what they are doing now, even what they said in the early days, I don't see it as a mark of seriousness, given what is happening. My brother sought to pontificate on why certain things are the way they are, and have advised on an approach. I am fine with it. On the issue of the second person, in just 5 seconds.
Okay.
It is not only the OASP that must be blamed. Okay. I'm saying that it is grounded in law that you do not require any action from the Office of the Special Prosecutor to have Kenoforiate extradited. As a matter of fact, ultimate responsibility lies in the Attorney General. So that narrative is required to be made out there. So if the Attorney General is not doing it, then he is in the same bed with the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Or if you want us to personalize it, to Kisi Ajabing. If he wants to exonerate himself from these suspicions, okay, what he has to do is to ignore the Office of the Special Prosecutor. He has a mandate of the appointing authority, the president, to make sure that the desire of the president to see these people prosecuted is done. Right. Why is he not doing it? Big question mark. Again, one of the many symptoms of an ailing government's position when it comes to the fight against issues of corruption.
Okay.
Thank you. It was a nice show.
Let me just conclude. But don't worry. That we will keep this video for that day. Okay. When that day comes, don't change the narrative.
I have called for
no problem. I am just reminding you
thank you very much
that we shall keep this audio when that day comes.
It's a video.
And they are video, and they are called upon to account for their stewardship.
So, Mr. Fred, all right. So, Fred Agbenyo is the MP for Guan and also former National Communications Officer of the NDC, and also Dr. Elvis. Republic of South, I like that. I'm one of your chief advocates. And also Dr. Elvis Botha is former Deputy National Organizer of the MPP. Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thanks for watching once again. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Where the dust rises, the kings are made. No throne, no roof, just a shadows shed. Brick by brick, we build from pain. Under the streets lies, we carve our name.